यूरो और वो सब नहीं गिर रहे हैं, सिर्फ INR और मतलब जो
INR का depreciation है because we are much more dependent particularly for the crude oil. A major exports for IT services which is decreasing a bit because of this AI. Imports are increasing a bit because of crude oil. So net the dollar is flowing out of your country. Plus these FIIs are selling. Every 7 years there has been a big crash in the market on an average. 1993 Harshad Mehta scam, 2000 year dot-com bubble, 2007-8 global financial crisis, 2013 to 14-15 taper tantrum and few other things were going on, 2020 COVID crisis, again 2026-27 is there.
okay.
आपके घर में भी कोई रिपेयरिंग वर्क होता है ना, तो इट टेक्स 10-15 days. Correct, renovation work. They have destroyed some of the refineries. It takes about on an average 4 to 5 months at least to get some of the refineries back on track. I'm not taking all.
Have Warren Buffett invested in any of the AI companies?
I doubt.
Because he was like that, I don't understand the technology, once I'll invest. He is very chill about it.
In fact, he recently invested in Google.
Oh, just now, few months back. But मैंने ऐसा सुना कि AI वाले तो मतलब अलग ही लेवल वैल्यूएशन कर रहे हैं. मतलब
you look at Palantir. Anthropic was earlier picked out by US military intelligence to share out all their model and do the work.
Which kind of industry are you saying that has a good valuation right now that people can invest in?
Well, rather than naming the industry directly, always look at theme. As an investor, what we always look for is opportunity, where the opportunity is rising next in India or outside world.
Okay. Can you name few?
Data center, power manufacturing companies, correct, or who can give a power all the data centers. You can have a look at that. And the third and the important one, which is a major issue,
is stock market going to crash? Why is the oil rising so much? Third question is about should I invest now or wait? So we were talking about कि UAE की जो per capita income है most likely which is like around more than $100,000 or something. Correct. So they can afford spending on defense and stuff like that, and they know that कि भाई अभी सीन ऐसा हो गया कि US पे डिपेंडेंट होके ज़रूरी नहीं है, तो फिर अपने को अपना खुद का तो कुछ करना ही पड़ेगा तो सेल्फ डिफेंस हो पाए.
Very true. हाँ. Right. So the thing is, Middle Eastern country has a lot of money. They've invested into luxury, as we talked about.
Yeah.
Now they are thinking about that they want to, let's say for example, they want to develop their defense facilities. Now, whenever you are going for defense facility, it is not like that you will start doing it next day morning.
Of course.
It is a long-term expenditure. You
5
do
years,
it.
10 years plan.
Yes, exactly. So it takes time to get everything on map actually, everything on road.
Okay.
Correct. Let's say F-35 fighter jets, right? We have few days ago only there was some articles which was saying that we have got the F-35, but they are not allowing give us the codes, basically final codes to make it within India, right? So likewise, the Dubai or any other Middle Eastern country, they will also face the same issues. They might have the defense facilities inside them, but if they don't know actually how to make it.
So what if India goes to UAE and says that, you help us? They have a lot of money. People know that, right? Correct. So fund our research. We'll help you with the defense stuff. So whatever we come out with, we'll share it with you.
Absolutely, yes.
So it's good for us. We are spending a lot of money on research.
We have done a lot of this kind of defense related research and development related work with Israel particularly.
Okay. Israel is good friend. So
yes, exactly. So defense related, lot of military intelligence also comes for us from Israel. Or we have been working with them. In fact, in Operation Sindhu, there were some of the reports which suggested that we worked with Israeli intelligence. Now, this kind of tie-ups are already there for us. Now, only thing is, those kind of, one is around the intelligence. Second one is about the development. We have there are two kind of economies. One is capital intensive. Second one is labor intensive. India has been that one which has a lot of labor intensive industries which generally do good.
Back offices of big companies, of course.
Yes. So if you look at IT, or which has been we were one of the largest software exporters, right? Service exporters particularly. But when you look at manufacturing, a lot of manufacturing things doesn't take place in India due to many reasons. Capital intensiveness as the main basic reason around it. So if you look at the manufacturing, that is what we are expecting to start, but it never starts overnight. In fact, about 3 to 4 years back, Modi ji mentioned about Make in India concept.
Make in India, yes.
That's where it started. Correct. The boost started. Again, the lot of challenges are there within it. Correct. After facing those challenges, if you want to get everything on ground, once you get the approval also, it will take about 1.5 to 2 years at least to make that facility. After making that facility, manufacturing it to the extent that it makes actually a difference to the economy at large, it will take time.
The transportation, logistics and everything, they are building roads for that same purpose, right? Because everyone wants that connectivity. If you want to send your goods to somewhere else, time and everything matters a lot for a business.
Absolutely, yes.
I had a question that suppose, India's economy, will it be going up or will it be going sideways? Because, a lot of now people are moving, now the countries will be moving in multipolar world. So,
Correct.
South Asia will have certain dominance and two countries will emerge. First is India, second is China.
Correct.
So our direct competitor isn't USA, it's mostly China. And China's opposition is USA. So US is kind of a friend. So enemy is a friend. So basically that kind of logic. So where you are seeing that markets will be going, Indian economy will be going?
First thing, till this point of time, Indian economy has done well. Answer is yes. In fact, in last 35 years, if you see, US and India are the only two economies in USD term they have done the superb work. I am talking about USD term, not even INR term.
Okay.
In US dollar term, even after rupee is crashing. Correct. Not right now, but it is crashing since last 35 years. Every year there has been some or the other correction in rupee because of inflation and those things. Still, we are doing much better than all other developed countries in dollar terms as well.
Okay.
Till this point of time, we were not there as a center of the world, right? China has been doing a lot of export work for US till now. Still, we have done better. Now, this is the place what I believe is we are at a very sweet spot right now. We are having good relation with Israel. Let's say this whole geopolitical issue that has happened.
Yeah.
Good relation with Israel. Yeah. We are having good relation with Russia also, which is backing Iran. We are having good relation with Iran as well. We were the first one who got the tankers from the Iran.
Right.
And we are having good relation with US as well, as the Strait agreement is getting done. In fact, Modi ji has or politicians have used it many times. Aapda mein hi avsar hai, kind of. Right. So when this thing happened, trade agreement or the tariff, we have already entered in a lot of free trade agreements with many countries.
Like Europe and stuff like that, right?
Yes. In fact, on 24th of April, I guess as per some of the reports, we are entering into the free trade agreement with New Zealand as well.
Nice.
Now, New Zealand is one of those countries which is having a lot of rare earth metal or minerals which are not yet completely mined, right? So, in this way, India is at a very sweet spot that we have, captured this opportunity as entering into a lot of free trade agreements as well. Plus, maintaining very good geopolitical level relations also with multiple countries. In fact, those countries who are enemies of each other, and we are the one who is doing the business with both of all of them, correct? And we have kept, we have got US to that level that US is, 1 month ago, US was saying that you must not get any oil from Russia or we will put extra tariff. Now, US is saying that you should get the oil from Russia. What else we want for India, right? This kind of sweet spot is there for us. Now, only thing is getting all these benefits on ground, it will take some time, of course. Does it mean that past benefits have gone in waste? Answer is no. Those things are already going on well.
Right.
Correct. So that means Indian economy is going to grow. Correct. It is just a narrative which is being made.
Makes
like
sense.
4 months back when we met, the discussion was around when India will reach $5 trillion economy or $8 trillion economy, $10 trillion economy. Now we are discussing about what will happen to India's growth story in just 4 months. It is just narrative. Correct. What has changed during this? Just a war came in. It kicked in some of the challenges for India. But the war has been there in past as well. We have came out of that as well.
Okay.
Correct.
So can you go through which kind of wars? Because I'm not sure that there are like 2-3 things happened, like 2008 and then after COVID, that was the biggest crash. And ओबामा के वक्त भी वॉर तो चली रही थी, वो सब कर ही रहे थे मिडल ईस्ट में, तो भी मतलब were there any consequences on the market or not at that time? And what are we seeing right now?
So let's take it this way. I'll divide it into 2 parts, not just skipping it to war.
Okay.
Every 7 years there has been a big crash in the market on an average. 1993, Harshad Mehta scam, 2000 year dot-com bubble, 2007-8 global financial crisis, 2013 to 14-15 taper tantrum and few other things were going on, 2020 COVID crisis, again 2026-27 is there.
Okay.
So now every 7 years there has been a crash. Every time the reason has been very different.
Yeah.
But let's say I've done some research around last 35 years. Out of that, 49 times market has corrected in total.
Okay.
Wherever market corrected more than 5%.
5% is normal, right?
Exactly. 2-3% का जो crash है उसको हम ignore करते हैं.
हाँ.
27 times roughly has been the market has corrected between 5 to 10%.
Still manageable.
Manageable.
हाँ.
5 to 6 times market has corrected roughly we can say 10 to 15%. More than 15%, only 6 to 7 times.
Okay.
Not more than that.
Okay.
Here, so 35 times could
The
be
COVID
here
and all was...
COVID and all in those cases.
Makes sense.
Now, out of all these observations, 49 observations in total, the market has corrected due to war only for 7 times.
Okay.
49 में से सिर्फ 7 बार market गिरा है because of war. 35 years का history, 49 times market gira, more than 5%. Out of that 7 times only due to war.
Okay.
Correct.
Yes.
And whenever the market has fallen in 49 times, most of the time, what do you think would be the villain?
Villain mean in what case?
Means what ends the market rally or main reason out of 49 times?
You said 7 or 8 times war, basically war, and rest all you are saying that what will be different issues. I'm not sure that real estate crisis or some other
Correct.
things.
Real estate crisis, global financial crisis that we talked about.
Yeah. Then
all the major crises has been having one common issue, that is liquidity in the market, cash crunch, asset liability mismanagement. That has been the major issue.
Okay. So I had a question. Suppose in 2008, right? So what US did that सबने AAA फंड्स कैसा कुछ whatever था, मैंने मूवी देखी थी तो थोड़ा बहुत ही आइडिया है उसके ऊपर. तो जो भी फंड्स थे तो बेसिकली वो थे BBB बट AAA करके बेच रहे थे, मतलब रीब्रांड करके रीपर्पस का whatever. तो फिर एट दी एंड यूएस ने क्या किया कि बैंक्स जो भी थे उनको बोल दिया ओके इतना लॉस है, विल बाई इट आउट फ्रॉम यू डायरेक्टली स्ट्रेट अवे. तो सीधा उनको ट्रांसफर हो गया, तो कोई इश्यू नहीं, इन्फ्लेशन भी नहीं बढ़ा, एवरीथिंग वाज मैनेज प्रॉपर्ली. बट ऑन कोविड में उन्होंने ऐसा किया कि जो भी था ओके विल प्रिंट मोर मनी एंड सर्कुलेट इन द मार्केट. इसके आपके पास स्पेंडिंग कैपेसिटी हुई तो चीज़ों की डिमांड बढ़ी बट सप्लाई नहीं था इतना, ऐसा कुछ सिमिलर थिंग था. इसके हिसाब से इन्फ्लेशन वो सारा स्पाइक हुआ.
सो दिस इज बेसिकली क्वांटिटेटिव ईजिंग.
ओके.
नाउ क्वांटिटेटिव ईजिंग करने के 2 तरीके हैं. वन इज यू आर गिविंग द मनी डायरेक्टली टू द बैंक्स.
ओके.
करेक्ट. दैट whatever is their losses, they can handle up the redemption pressure or liquidity crunches. You are giving money to the bank. When you are giving the money to the bank, they will use it more carefully. But when you are giving the money directly to the public's account, that's where the issue starts with respect to liquidity crunch. But now, why in COVID they did that? Was it a wrong, we would say, step? Maybe not, maybe yes. Because of the inflation we are saying, that is a one side only. On the other hand, during the time of COVID, a lot of people were losing their jobs. If you don't give money in the hands of people, how will they spend? In both cases, you are pushing the liquidity only in the market. Only thing is, in case of COVID, you gave it directly to the public.
Okay.
When you gave it to the public, they got the free money. They started spending it just like a free money. Correct. Plus, whenever the COVID kind of situation happens, there is a lot of unemployment which gets kicked in. When this unemployment kick in, unemployment insurance will be there. Correct. To handle that up, you are already giving the money through unemployment insurance policies in US.
Okay.
Plus this kind of free money is there. So much amount of cash got flushed out in the economy.
Okay.
And that's where the issue started.
Okay. So if we see today's market right now, so Aditya, can you screen share that please? So now market is recovering as compared to the dip that it had before. Correct. Like बहुत खराब drop आया था as compared to आप देखोगे निफ्टी 50 का पूरा down और उसके बाद अभी still we bill.
Correct.
1 year का अब वॉर अभी चालू हुई थी 27th या 26th ऑफ फेब
28th of Feb.
28th देखो
Yeah.
28th फेब से मार्केट गिरना चालू हुआ था ऑल राइट समवेयर हियर पूरा आंसर आ रहे थे और 25 से सीधा अभी तो भी 24 तक तो पहुंच गए
22,200
हाँ.
around it went down and came back to 24,000.
तो पूरा एक साल पीछे चले गए हम क्योंकि 25 का रेट आ गया था ना फिर तो 22,000 समथिंग तो फिर हाँ
Okay.
और फिर अभी रिकवर कर रहे हैं क्योंकि अभी बीच में ब्रेक आ गया कि सीज फायर की वो सब बातें चल रही है
Correct.
सो अभी दो ऑप्शंस है अपने पास या तो सीज फायर सारा पॉजिटिवली होगा तो जिसके हिसाब से मार्केट्स भी पॉजिटिवली रिएक्ट करेंगे या फिर ट्रम्प पता नहीं रात को सुबह कुछ गोली वोली खा के उठाओ उसको कुछ और दिमाग में आ गया और उसने बोला ठोको
Correct.
तो वॉर चालू हो गया एंड इट विल हैव अनदर कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस
Very true.
हाँ
So war is just like a event. Event is something which will pass on one of the day. What we should focus on? We should focus on more about the consequences. Like we talked about cause and effect. We should look at the consequences of the war. Before I go to that, I'll tell you why this market correction has been there.
ओके
And before that, we always look at opportunity cost.
हाँ
Like I mentioned earlier. Can you check the chart of 5 years? 2021 से 25. Now if you look at this chart, what would you say? From 15,000 to 25,000.
यस
Correct. When you look at a broader picture,
25 years 30 years of course you are getting money
no, I'm not talking about even 25 years.
Okay,
I'm talking
last
about just 5 years.
so we are making around 62% of returns
Correct.
and if you go to Dow we say Dow
हाँ,
right okay
Yes.
वहाँ
Dow
पे-
Jones.
हाँ,
So
Dow Jones.
just second.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if you see from 15,000 to 26,000, it first reached out somewhere in the month of we can say May or June 2024 itself. 26,000 पे or 24,000 पे आज है.
हाँ
But it actually reached for the first time in that 4.5 years itself. Not
Okay.
even 4.5. This is from 2021, right? So 2021 to
तो mid 24
3.5 years only. 3.5 साल में 15,000 15,000 का इंडेक्स went up to 26,000.
27th of September के वहाँ पे अपने का रीच हुआ
We always look for
Okay.
opportunity cost. Now, if market has run up in such a way, did your earnings of the Indian economy companies, did it also increased in this way? Answer is no. We were given the valuation somewhere in September 24 for the next 2 to 3 years earning itself.
okay
So when you look at the market is overvalued as an investor.
very right
So that is why somewhere from September 2024, we see here
sideways the market
the
going.
market went sideways, but FIIs are constantly exiting.
very right
Correct. Foreign institutional investors.
but why they don't trust Indian market right
They
now?
are trusting Indian markets.
okay
What they look for is, are they getting any other markets of
okay
better
suppose if they go
opportunity?
to China they are getting
Exactly.
good returns so why
Good
would they
returns.
invest in India?
Why would
Makes
they
sense.
stay invested within India? Simple question.
True.
Since then, the currency has also started to depreciate. 82, 83 was there. We came, right now we are at somewhere at 95. Abhi kuch 92 आया, 93 आया.
okay
Correct.
Aditya.
So we look at this
हाँ.
consequences. Within this, what they lost, if they would have stayed invested in Indian market, who didn't exited, they lost about 15% of the return. Because 82 has become 95. Roughly 15% around return is gone for them. 15 to 20, 16, 17% return is gone for the dollar investor.
okay if they invested in US so
If they invested in India,
if they invest okay
because of the currency exchange.
okay makes sense now
Correct.
समझ गया okay
And if they say, if I invest in, let's say for example, South Korea, which was AI-led economy, lot of AI innovations were happening. US economy, the Dow also went up or S&P 500 went up. Correct. So that is where they thought that these AI companies are available at some valuation. Some valuation could be there at that point of time. They say, if I can make 20%, 30% here, why should I stay invested in India? Let me exit. At that time, war was done the query. Correct. In fact, as you mentioned, the war has happened in past as well. 2022 से Russia-Ukraine चल
चल ही रहा है
We are having good tie-up with Russia itself. Correct. Still, we are not affected since 2022. 2022 से 2024 तक market बढ़ा ही है. The consequences are with oil prices right now. Oil prices are at 95. roughly, and it went up to $120.
They are projecting that if this case worsens, it's 150 or something we're looking
Well,
at.
forget about that. Even if the case doesn't worse,
Okay.
till now the discussion somewhere is not happening, but I can share with you the data.
Okay.
During this whole issue that has happened, we were getting a lot of oil, somewhere around 100 and I need to check the exact data.
Okay, we'll put it out.
Yeah. So let me just get it exact numbers
Okay.
so that.
Okay.
Yes.
5.5 million barrels per day India. Okay. Sourcing it from Russia and the US, while Iraq, UAE
So,
and stuff.
On an average, global oil supply is about 105 million barrels per day.
Global.
Global.
Okay.
Daily.
Okay.
105 million barrels per day in as of May 25.
Okay.
Correct. And every year it is increasing by about 3-4% around. Now, during this thing has happened, the Middle Eastern war, correct. Iran has entered into the war with much of the Middle East countries. Ukraine is now attacking Russia's capacity, correct. Due to this, around 8 to 12 million barrels per day, that much capacity is already affected.
Okay.
Post considering 4 to 5 million barrels per day reserves capacity also.
Okay.
So roughly 12 to 13 million barrels per day capacity is affected.
Okay.
We already have the reserve capacity also.
Hmm.
If we use that also, still 8 to 9 million barrels per day is going to be the shortage going forward.
Okay.
If that is a shortage, it is going to keep your crude oil prices elevated. Correct.
Demand is already there, so supply is low, so rahega hi, barabar, simple.
Now, if this thing is there, now crude oil is the most basic essential thing. If crude oil inflation is there, in US already the inflation numbers are kicking in. 22% or 25% somewhere is the increase in the crude oil prices for US as well.
Okay.
Even if they are
self-sufficient,
still it is increasing WTI crude. Now, if that increases, as we talked about, inflation increases, interest rates are expected to increase, at least not expecting rate cut. So bond related, liquidity related issues could be there.
Yeah.
That is a different. But now this is the consequences. War is just an event. वो हो गया, सीजफायर हो गया, बट उसकी वजह से जो कैपेसिटी डैमेज हुआ, द कैपेसिटी, आपके घर में भी कोई रिपेयरिंग वर्क होता है ना, तो इट टेक्स 10-15 days, करेक्ट, रिनोवेशन वर्क. दे हैव डिस्ट्रॉयड सम ऑफ द रिफाइनरीज.
तो फिर टाइम ही टाइम.
It will take time,
of course,
to get back on track.
Mostly months.
Mostly, if I searched on that as well, it takes about, on an average, 4 to 5 months at least
to get
at
it
least
working back.
To get some of the refineries back on track. I'm not taking
all.
all. Some of the refineries which are partially damaged.
Okay.
The one which has been majorly damaged, it takes about 2 years to get it back on track. Correct. Second thing, even if ceasefire happens, even if, again, the problem is not ceasefire. The problem is whether the crude oil comes from Strait of Hormuz or not. प्रॉब्लम तो वही है ना,
वही
जिसको झगड़ा है झगड़ो.
हाँ, वो रास्ता खोल दो तो काम निकले.
Exactly, तो हमारा काम निकल जाएगा. Now, even if they open up Strait of Hormuz, it will take time to reach that crude oil to India or some other places. It is not going to happen overnight. Correct. It's a somewhat additional problem. If that inflation kicks in, interest rate may go higher. Interest rate goes higher, again, it will start affecting your economy. So that is all the reasons why Indian equity market had not worked. Somewhere the advanced में the valuations were given, prices were given. So that's where it take a pause. We waited for earnings to kick in.
Okay.
Meanwhile, in April 2025, somewhere, US also came up with the tariff thing. Tariff wasn't getting sorted out. So within 6 months, it started reflected into earnings growth rate. So in September 24, there has already been the top was made. Again, then in April 25, we made bottom. Again, we recovered with some tariff related news. Again, we corrected. In fact, as you were talking about Dow Jones, it is recovering now.
Okay.
Now, can you shift to Dow Jones now? Now, if you look at in Dow Jones, again, take a look at somewhere in January
26.
January 26, yeah.
It will be...
the top was made. After that, yes, January. That was the top which was made.
Okay.
During that time, what were the, now this tariff thing has actually started to affect the US economies as well.
Okay.
Right? And that's where the Trump said that tariff, I have some other ways also to impose a tariff if US court does not support this. The sanction, the court ruling did not came out.
Okay.
But market started reacting to it. If you see, the market has already corrected.
But it's
Right.
very uncertain right now because midterm election is also coming in US and a lot of people are saying that the presidential power will be thrown away. मतलब देंगे ही नहीं उनको वोट करके फिर सारा सेंट्रल कर देंगे पावर. We don't know what's happening.
Correct.
हाँ.
So US market में या फिर कहीं पर भी market में, I'm talking about in general. I'm not saying कि US market is a good buying opportunity or not.
Okay.
We will discuss on that part.
Okay.
But again, किसी भी market में, when you invest in the time of uncertainty, that's where you make the most money.
Of course.
Because when there is a certainty, you will have to pay the price of certainty. Correct.
Premium देना ही पड़ता है.
Premium देना ही पड़ेगा. Nothing comes without cost. अगर किसी ने कोविड में 24th of March somewhere, the Nifty made a low of 7,600 only.
Okay.
Correct, roughly. Now it is still they are at 24,000. Correct, within just 4 or 5 years. Now, किसी ने अगर वहाँ पे invest किया होता तो they would have multiplied money. I'm talking about Nifty. Forget about that. Take a look at stocks. Lot of stocks got multiplied from that level. Correct.
Right.
So when you are investing in uncertainty, you get that lower prices of uncertainty.
High risk, high reward.
High risk, high
basically.
reward. Exactly.
हाँ.
Again, uncertainty doesn't mean that you pay any valuation. Let's look at Dow Jones or let's look at S&P 500 as a broader market.
Correct.
We talk about S&P 500's amazing returns till date. Right? What would be the return?
Maybe 20-ish per year.
Correct.
हाँ.
Out of that, how much is contributed by Magnificent Seven?
But like tech companies like Apple, Amazon and stuff like that. Okay.
So when you are investing actually into these companies, S&P 500, you are investing into 500 or we are talking about 500 companies.
So you diversify
Who
more.
actually generates the return for you?
Top 1%.
Exactly.
That's a
7
difference
companies
maker.
only. That is a difference maker. Now, the new question is, at what price we are getting this company?
Okay.
Correct. Now let's talk a bit around AI and how it is making, because Magnificent 7 is all around
all about AI.
That AI story only.
Right.
Let's say in case of AI, let's talk about how many models have you came across, or how many this different softwares have you came across?
See, mostly we use here is OpenAI, Claude is good,
ChatGPT,
and
Claude,
Gemini comes with Google Workspace, so we use kind of that.
Copilot,
as well. Copilot, yeah.
Microsoft,
yeah.
DeepSeek we heard of,
from China.
Correct. Grok,
yeah.
Elon Musk, Twitter,
Musk buy.
Musk, right? Now, how many models we are knowing about? At least 7 right now. There would be, of course, many more models as well, which are being used, which is for video creation.
These are the top ones.
Agent AI is there. Many others are there. These are the top notch. Now, how many of you have you actually paid for?
Hardly 1 or 2.
Exactly. That too because you are into this business. What about many other people who are writing up their
college mein, universities mein, they're just using it for free.
Exactly. How you are actually getting the revenue out of it?
They're not. बीच में ऐसा कुछ था भी ChatGPT को this amount of money they need to generate to just break in, और बहुत खराब सीन अभी.
Correct.
हाँ.
Now the problem is also not this. What they say is, let's say when I talk about this, so one of my investors, I had just word with them.
Okay.
They are IT professional, but when you have word with them, they have it in clear words. आज नहीं कर रहा है, फ्यूचर में करेगा. करेक्ट.
वैल्यूएशन इज ऑल अबाउट
फ्यूचरिस्टिक. तो एक विजन देना होता है. राइट. इनफैक्ट आई विल हैव समथिंग टू शेयर ऑन दैट एज वेल. नाउ व्हाट दे टोल्ड मी इज कि जियो भी ऐसे ही था ना. जियो ने भी पहले फ्री में दिया. Now the Jio is charging.
It's all about habit making. Same Uber and everyone. Yeah,
exactly. Uber is also there. Ola is also there. They are now charging you well. Zomato is there. They completely changed your way of thinking or your usage ability.
Zepto. No one was using fast delivery something in Australia. When I came back here, most of our people are blinking. 10 minute में क्या Amazon one day क्या यार 15 minute.
15 minute. Exactly. Now the Myntra has also started 30 minutes. Correct. Now the problem, how different it is. A simple thing, that whatever the AI model you are using, do you think it will continue to be there after, let's say, 6 months as well?
Means they'll obviously upgrade. 4.5 से 5 आएगा, 5 से 6 आएगा.
I'm saying earlier we were very happy with ChatGPT.
Hmm.
Now we say boss cloud के बिना काम नहीं चलेगा. After some point we might say some other AI which is giving free also or which is doing better work, उसके बिना काम नहीं चलेगा. Right? So they also need to upgrade. Somewhere in this race, Claude is still doing good work for now for the professionals, whether it's a finance professional, IT professional, सबके लिए. Earlier it was ChatGPT. उसके पहले it was Copilot.
Right.
Correct. उसके during this period, in fact, Gemini is also trying to make a place for them. Correct.
They're rebranding from Bread to Gemini or something, right? Flash. Okay.
So these companies are changing itself. Now we are not even thinking about buying the subscription from Perplexity.
Bichara Arvind.
Correct. So basically what I'm trying to say is AI based company mein, before it is starting to earn profits, the industry is evolving so much that current players, will they even be in the market after maybe 5 years, 6 years?
No one knows.
Maybe no. So on what basis we are giving the valuation today to that magnificent 7, which is actually generating the return for all these 500 companies?
So mostly what happens is, अगर company है तो उसके valuation hardly 5x, 10x होती है. मतलब जो revenue होता है ऐसा कुछ उससे.
हाँ, price to sales we look at.
Okay.
We look at P ratio also. Okay. But again, that is a generalized one.
Okay.
I'll be very honest. That is very generalized.
But मैंने ऐसा सुना कि AI वाले तो मतलब अलग ही level valuation कर रहे हैं. मतलब
you look at Palantir.
हाँ.
They are in case of Palantir, in fact, it's AI company.
हाँ.
Correct.
Right.
But people look at it from defense perspective because it is giving lot of military intelligence. Correct. Or you look at this Anthropic. Anthropic was earlier picked out by US military intelligence to share out all their model and do the work. Fortunately or unfortunately, the deal didn't went well. Then the valuation given was very high, which was given to Anthropic as a listed company. Correct. बीच में कुछ ऐसा भी आया था कि Anthropic will cut down the Indian IT space by 50%.
Oh.
Correct. Now, when this kind of statements are given, IT industry in India is also getting hurt. My simple question. Can you really shift overnight to some other system?
No, it takes time.
It takes time.
100%.
Correct. Now the question within this is, who all are able to change themselves or upgrade themselves? Like, as soon as this thing came in, Infosys switched, or Infosys in fact did partnership with Anthropic. Correct. To the best of my knowledge, TCS did partnership with Gemini, Google.
Okay.
Correct. So when you are investing in any of the market, you should always look at who is generating the return, where the opportunities are, what are the valuations, at what valuation they are available. Correct. And whenever you see that certain headwinds are there or some negative news are there for that particular industry, who all can change very well or quickly.
Makes sense. But बहुत बार ऐसा भी हुआ ना कि भाई crazy valuations and people like let's not invest, and then after 2-3 years the stock doubled.
Possible hai. We always look at opportunity cost. So opportunity cost is not only about returns, it is also about risk.
Risk, of course.
Correct. If my risk is very high, to get that 15% or 20%, why? Or because see, when these stocks fall, it doesn't fall by just 15-20%. It just go down to some another level. The risk is very high. You always look at that the X stock is there where I have 15-20%, which is the return capacity, and 30% or 40% downside. Will you really pick out that? No. You will think twice.
Yeah.
But some other stock is there wherein you have 10% downside in a worst case scenario, but 15% maybe in the first case there was 20% upside. Here you have 15% upside.
But it's much safer. Downside.
Exactly. Downside is less. So people forget to look at risk adjusted return. Now, if you look at for Dow Jones or some other this S&P 500, at a very base level, take a look at their P ratio of the index itself.
Okay. As compared to Is it too high?
It's higher than their median or the
Oh.
past mean as well.
Okay.
Because of all thanks to 7 companies.
Hmm.
Now, when you are an Indian investor, you're looking at global investments. Can you really track down these 6 or 7 companies when you are making your portfolio? Is it possible?
Hmm.
पॉसिबल ही नहीं है, क्योंकि आप सुबह उठते हो तब तक में कुछ और हो चुका होता है. ट्रम्प अंकल आके कुछ बोलते हैं तो भी डाउ जोन्स घूम जाता है. थिंक अबाउट यू आर पिकिंग आउट द कंपनीज इंडिविजुअल. क्वाइट चैलेंजिंग टास्क एक्सेप्ट फॉर यू आर द प्रोफेशनल. करेक्ट. चैलेंजिंग टास्क है. आपको कॉन्सन्ट्रेटेड पोर्टफोलियो भी बनाना है बिकॉज 7 कंपनीज, ऑल 7 आर AI कंपनी, तभी जाके पैसा बना होता है. अदरवाइज तो किसी का बनता नहीं ना. बिकॉज S&P 500 में अगर किसी और ने इन्वेस्ट किया होता रेस्ट कंपनीज में, तो उसका रिटर्न समवेयर इन सिंगल डिजिट्स है.
Single digits. Oh.
इफ आई इग्नोर दिस 7 or 8 कंपनीज,
So it's better to
बाकी के
invest in 7
490
companies
companies.
other than S&P 500.
बट वो पता नहीं था ना
Hmm.
कि यही 7 कंपनीज वर्कआउट करेगी.
Nvidia मतलब क्या growth
मल्टीप्लाई
था?
हो गया.
हाँ.
बट अगेन इफ यू टॉक अबाउट एनवीडिया
Hmm.
और AI related thing that is going on, और बीच में आया था that AI bubble is also getting formed up somewhere.
Because Oracle is giving money to ChatGPT and वो पूरा circle आया था
Circle
Instagram पे, I saw
right?
that.
It's a money management which is happening, correct? Circular trip of the money.
हाँ.
So now those things are also there, and based on that the valuations are given, correct? So as an investor, I should always look at what are the opportunities. अगर कहीं और कम रिटर्न मिलेगा बट रिस्क बहुत कम है.
Have Warren Buffett invested in any of the AI companies?
I doubt.
Because he was like that, I don't understand the technology. Once
Yeah.
I will, I'll invest. He
Yes.
is very chill about
In
it.
fact, he recently invested in Google.
Oh, just now, few
Yeah,
months back.
Few months back.
Oh.
Correct. Till the time he
Very
was not
late.
even invested into Google as well.
Okay.
Correct.
So he's kind of old school in
He
that
might
manner.
be invested into AI. We don't know because public
He-
data, or I might not be exactly availed with the knowledge on that. But yeah, one thing, he is not having bigger chunk into that company.
Same with the case with BYD, right? So he
Yeah.
had option to invest in Tesla, but he was like, I don't think it's it's overvalued.
Overvalued.
Yeah, stuff like
Yeah.
that. And BYD is now making more sales in US as compared to Tesla.
Tesla. It's leading. It's world's number 1, I guess. Right? And what kind of technology BYD is using? I mean, you look at the Indian EV sector market and compare it to BYD, which is also available in India.
Huge gap.
Huge gap is there in the same kind
Space.
of a space.
Makes
Right? So global players are there. They are good at a maybe product level, at a company level, but as an investor, I should be looking at, of course, that financials also, and at what valuation they are available.
Okay.
Valuation matters the most when you're
So
investing.
which kind of industry are you saying that has a good valuation right now that people can invest in?
Well, rather than naming the industry directly,
Okay.
I always look at theme.
Like
Okay,
macros.
when we are talking about in general.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
What is the thought,
Mhm.
right? Because I might be seeing some stock tomorrow morning. I don't know at what valuation they are available. But as an investor, what we always look for is opportunity, where the opportunity is rising next in India
Okay. In
or
which-
outside world.
Okay. Can you name few?
Data center
Oh.
as the most ongoing
Reliance
stories.
is doing it, right, in India?
Now we look at directly who is making the data center
Huh.
or who are in the process of it.
There's something like they need to lease the data center. The rule is right. If Meta wants to come in India, they have to lease it. So
Yes.
people like Adani, Ambani, and all are building data centers and they're leasing it to the big companies.
Correct.
Okay.
But is it a overnight thing?
no, it will take time.
It will take time.
बट जो अनंत अंबानी की शादी में वहाँ से लेके अभी तक डेटा सेंटर बन गए ना, क्योंकि
हाँ.
आए थे ज़करबर्ग, उनको
Correct.
यही डील किया
Yeah.
था. उसके बाद अभी 1 साल के बाद आप देखो,
Correct. But who will make the money out of it?
बिग प्लेयर्स ऑफ कोर्स.
That is what? That is the front. I just heard about one of the business in US.
Okay.
I'll name the company also, but at last,
Okay.
just to guess.
Okay.
In US and many other countries, the mining was going on. I don't know. I guess it could be Brazil as well, but not very sure on where this thing actually happened. The mining was starting. So people started looking at which is the company which is good at mining. There was another company who said, all the workers who are working at mining, they will be spending the money somewhere. Where they would spend the money? Majorly clothes.
Right.
Let me make a jeans for them, which is good as a cloth for them to wear at mining. अब माइनिंग की कोई भी कंपनी अच्छा करे, वर्कर्स तो होंगे,
हाँ,
मेरा प्रोडक्ट तो यूज पक्का करेंगे. इफ माई प्रोडक्ट इज गेटिंग यूज्ड, जिसको कमाना है कमाए, नहीं कमाना है, बट माई प्रोडक्ट विल बी सोल्ड इन एनी केस.
राइट.
सो पीपल लुक्ड एट दैट थिंग.
जीन्स बेसिकली उनका
Denim.
हिस्ट्री वही है ना डेनिम का, कि भाई वर्कर्स पहनते थे, इसके बाद अभी हम लोग पहन रहे.
बट डेनिम के पीछे का स्टोरी क्या था?
हाँ.
This was the major story was around that. Why they came up with this idea. Likewise, anywhere new rising industries are there, you look for who is going to be the most beneficial out of it. Whoever gets succeed.
Like the suppliers as well and everything, right?
They make the most money. Like people looked at EV story. That EV is going to go on a lot. Growth is there. People looked at cars. We looked at who makes the ancillaries for auto. करेक्ट.
हाँ.
कार तो कोई भी बनाएगा. आज टाटा बना रहा है,
हाँ.
महिंद्रा भी बना रहा है. नाउ द आईशर इज ऑल्सो कमिंग इन टू ईवी बाइक्स. करेक्ट. बट उसको सप्लाई कौन करेगा और प्रिसाइज थिंग कौन बनाएगा जहाँ पे प्रॉफिट मार्जिन मेजर हो सकता है.
राइट.
Because if you are selling it to the end consumer, you have some pricing competition. But if you are making a specialized thing, you always have that edge. You have a moat.
Right.
Correct. You can charge some extra profit margin.
It's not that fancy because it's B2B. लोगों को लगता है ओला ये सब हो गया जो कर रहे हैं, B2C है तो उनका वो डायरेक्ट वो ग्लैमर मिलता है, बट B2B वाले ज़्यादा पैसा कमा रहे हैं एज कम्पेयर टू B2C.
Exactly. So auto ancillaries जो है,
हाँ,
precise चीज वहाँ पे ज़्यादा शायद से बेनिफिट हो सकता है. या फिर when we talk the one we talked about data center. Data center को सबसे ज़्यादा issues क्या है डेटा सेंटर के लिए? एनर्जी,
क्योंकि बहुत एनर्जी यूज हो रही होगी. और फिर कूलिंग रहता है क्योंकि डेटा सेंटर्स
कूलिंग सिस्टम.
यस.
People are not looking at cooling system companies.
नॉट लुकिंग एट कूलिंग सिस्टम.
Not looking at cooling system companies.
मैं कौन सी कंपनी है मेरे को तो पता ही नहीं है यार.
कोई भी कंपनीज हो, you just search for it. I don't know name any company right now.
Mitsubishi अपने यार. Okay.
But again, Mitsubishi is making the ACs.
Okay, but cooling system.
Who is at the back of it?
Who is? HVACs. Oh, okay.
There is some other companies also who are making the cooling system for freeze already. Refrigerator के cooling system वही बना रहे हैं. Look for those companies. They can have greater opportunity. Correct.
Right.
The second you talked about the power manufacturing companies. Correct. Or who can give a power to this all the data centers. You can have a look at that. And the third and the important one, which is a major issue, wherever the data centers have started, you can check.
Okay.
In US, whenever the data center started, initially people got a lot of employment, but then they started facing the water-related issues.
How come?
Because when you're making the data centers, they require a lot of water.
Okay.
Plus, a lot of data center waste that gets into this water.
Okay.
But what about the water cleaning systems? Those companies. Those could be the good opportunities I'm saying.
Okay. No one is talking about
No one
this.
is talking about it. Actually, बात वहाँ पे जानी चाहिए थी.
हाँ.
Correct. Opportunity कहाँ पे है? One is what we see. Second one is what we should actually see. कि valuation कहाँ पे मिलेगा. अब ये जो companies है ना, इसको analyze करना quite difficult. आपको इसके बारे में आप search करोगे.
हमारे जैसे लोगों को पता ही नहीं है यार कि भाई.
You would not be able to track it down to be in a very raw language because वहाँ पे छोटी companies है, data might be available, might not be available. Meeting up the management or analyzing the management is another challenge.
Right.
Correct. So we should be looking at in this manner. So whether you look for US market, whether you look for Indian market.
Okay. What is the demand and who will fulfill it?
Exactly.
And what are the key players?
Key players.
Okay.
At what valuation they are available.
Okay.
And in that valuation, what quality you are getting, what is the opportunity cost, what is the risk and the reward. अगर वो कंपनीज ऑलरेडी चल चुकी है,
हाँ,
वैल्यूएशन ऑलरेडी अप है,
हाँ, तो नॉमिनल रिटर्न्स मिलेगा फिर.
एग्जैक्टली. वैल्यूएशन अगर ऑलरेडी बढ़ चुका है तो
हाँ, तो फिर नॉट डजंट मेक सेंस इन्वेस्टमेंट.
यस.
So if we talk about opportunity cost, so right now I don't know much about the markets because I don't follow that much. I just invest and then after put it for the few years. देखते क्या होता है आगे. So if I'm looking at Dow Jones right now and Nifty, so basically US market has given us good return as compared to Indian market. Yeah. But will this pattern continue or not?
Again, when we say US market is given good return, that means we are talking about that 7 companies.
Okay. But anyways, you know,
Keep that aside.
if I invest in 7 companies, I directly know that this Amazon and this all gonna go up. So I'll invest in that money. But
At what valuation you are investing? Again, the question is, let's say you say that it will go up. Answer is yes. It's just like answering for us, someone from Indian market, Reliance बढ़ेगा. बोले Reliance का growth होने ही वाला है. TCS का growth शायद होगा, शायद नहीं होगा, but maybe limited होगा, but बंद नहीं हो जाएगा. Correct. That kind of work is there at a retail individual investors level or layman level.
Yes.
What you should actually think about, इसका valuation क्या हो सकता है, इसका growth कितना हो सकता है, the one which you talked about, P ratio.
Yes.
Now whenever we talk about P ratio, P is never given based on what was the past. It is past में कितना P था, आज कितना है और वो कितना match up होना चाहिए. It is not about that. In my personal opinion, PE is always given based on what is the growth opportunities available going forward in the future. Now, let's search for it. FMCG or the consumptions. A superb story. बढ़ना ही चाहिए.
Consumption is there, domestic consumption is increasing. So
correct.
Right.
You take a look at it. 5 साल का आप देख लो और 1 year का देखो, 2 साल का देखो. 5 साल. You look at it. The kind of growth क्या है?
भाई it's in negative.
Exactly. अब एक्चुअल में क्या हो गया? 2021 से 2021 से हम लोग देख रहे हैं. प्रॉब्लम क्या है? You look at Colgate Palmolive. Again a listed stock. Colgate. Yeah. Colpal. Perfect.
Okay.
5 years data. This is US one. This is US one.
Anyways, but it's just 5% return
Exactly.
in 5 years.
In
So
5
1%
years.
return means nothing.
Nothing.
Same story. It's the same stock, I guess.
Okay. Colpal.
But I got the point what you're trying to say. Yeah.
So, we always look for growth. Now, यहाँ पे growth अटक गया. Answer is no.
Okay.
Correct. Let's take for now US economy itself.
Okay.
यहाँ पे growth अटक गया. Did we stop using Colgate? Answer is no.
No.
We are still using it. Correct. Problem is growth is not there. Growth is not there in what sense I am saying? You look at the results. In results you might see the revenue might be increasing, but the number of units that they are selling is not increasing.
Same with the Apple ना. iPhones mostly बहुत US में वहाँ पे जा रहे थे. इंडिया में उनको क्यों आना पड़ा? यही रीजन था कि यहाँ का डोमेस्टिक मार्केट उनको कैप्चर करना पड़ेगा.
बहुत बड़ा है मार्केट.
तब जाके ही फिर उनको वो एडिशनल वो आप दिखा पाओगे, शेयर होल्डर्स को आप खुश कर पाओगे, वरना कोई रीजन ही नहीं है.
यूनिट्स, नंबर ऑफ यूनिट्स, सी आपका रेवेन्यू ग्रोथ जो है वो 2 तरीके से बढ़ता है. वन इज थ्रू प्राइस, इन्फ्लेशन और महंगाई विच वी से. सेकंड वन इज नंबर ऑफ यूनिट सोल्ड एक्स्ट्रा. राइट. नंबर ऑफ यूनिट सोल्ड, लेट्स से व्हाट कोलगेट डिड. Colgate earlier was pushing for that you should be brushing your teeth in the morning and in the night. But वो कभी स्टाइल इंडियंस का चेंज नहीं कर पाया.
हैबिट तो चेंज नहीं हुआ.
करेक्ट. हैबिट चेंज नहीं हुआ. Earlier time Colgate had given amazing returns. Reason? People were using in rural areas majorly the datun. Correct. Or some unorganized toothpaste or that powder was being used. From that they switched to organized one, which is
new customers,
Colgate, Close Up. Yeah.
Okay.
So units growth was there. And that's why the valuation was given. Now whom will you touch? What is your touch points now? Or where you can grow?
Which countries or which regions you are not selling,
untapped.
so you untapped basically. Same with the Apple. अभी Apple की ये स्ट्रेटजी है कि भाई जाओ ये सारे इंडिया वो सारे मार्केट कैप्चर करो. और अभी बहुत सस्ते वो iPad नहीं होगा क्या, अभी कुछ MacBook नहीं हो, बहुत सस्ते अभी निकाल रहे हैं मिड लेवल के लिए.
Again, the query is
40,000
price. Again, now the query is price.
Right.
So price के लिए, growth के लिए मुझे क्या चाहिए? One is number of units sold extra, that is with untapped market. What is the additional price you can charge? You can charge, any company can charge additional price only if you have economic moat. People don't look at economic moat. Economic moat मतलब क्या? Let's say for example, let's say Zomato or let's say Swiggy. Correct. Why they are able to charge extra? Or why they are able to charge 30% commissions from restaurants also? Why?
Because I think it's kind of a not monopoly, but you know there are 2-3 players in the duopolies only. दो market है, आपको कोई option ही नहीं दे रहा.
अब अगर Rapido आया, Rapido is saying we are, they are doing the pilot model in Bangalore. Below 400 rupees we will charge 25 rupees. Above 400 rupees we will charge 50 rupees somewhere on a delivery. how the Zomato or Swiggy will able to charge extra? Answer is it's at a question mark. Economic moat नहीं है उधर. It is just because the market is small. तो valuation भी उसी हिसाब से मिलेगा.
Makes
Correct.
sense.
Economic moat मतलब क्या? आज भी अगर if I ask you a simple question, which is the whenever I say the word ethics, which is the first group of companies which
Tata.
come to your mind?
Tata.
Exactly.
Okay.
That is the economic moat. Economic moat could be around
Trust.
what
Okay, ऐसा
trust
कुछ.
you have gained.
Okay.
Correct. Second, if I ask you for which is the best mobile till now you have used and it is the best battery life.
Of course, I won't say iPhone for the battery life, but I have used only Apple mobile devices.
Nokia.
Nokia.
How can we forget around that?
हाँ.
Nokia का build quality कोई replace नहीं कर पाया.
किसी के सर पे मार दो तो भी कुछ ना हो.
खत्म. Nokia is having economic moat. Again, they were not able to get themselves changed. That is a different story.
It's not long lasting, but it's there.
वो software update नहीं हुआ. They got issues.
हाँ.
But if you talk about the build quality, battery life, Nokia was
Unbeatable.
100 on 100, unbeatable.
Right,
That is the economic moat. अगर Nokia 10% extra भी charge करता ना, we would buy Nokia. If I talk about which is the first phone which came up with the QWERTY keyboard, BlackBerry.
हाँ.
Exactly.
BBM का जमाना था यार.
People BlackBerry was the only one which was using or selling on a QWERTY keyboard. Right. That is the moat which sustained with them.
Right.
Till the time that moat breaks down, you can make some extra profit margins. The revenue which we talked about. जब तक वो moat नहीं टूटता ना, तब तक आपके पास profit margin रहेगा. जैसे वो moat खत्म, profit margin खत्म, growth rate would be limited. So PE re-rating होगा. So in our words we call it PE expansion and PE contraction.
Okay.
So growth rate जब compromise होगा तो PE contraction होगा. आप बोलोगे यार EPS बढ़ रहा है, correct, और profit margins are increasing, but ये price नहीं बढ़ रहा है, it is undervalued. Look at the growth rate, PE re-rating हो रहा है.
Makes sense.
Correct.
हाँ.
So that is the another thing that you must be looking at. People are looking at कि यार consumption बहुत low level पे मिल रहा है. Look for, is it the PE re-rating का case? Or is it actually the market is mispricing something for now? Correct.
Okay.
Again, I'm not saying that consumption is undervalued or overvalued, not commenting on that. Just giving an example so that we all can relate easily.
Makes sense.
Right. Yes. And consumption is not about just FMCG. It is much beyond that. Correct. Whatever you use on daily basis, it can be there.
So,
right.
If we say that India wants to become, now it's fourth largest economy, right? And then we need to beat Germany, or we already beat Germany now. Third is
third largest.
Third largest Germany, right?
Largest, yeah.
Okay, so we need to beat Germany, then after China, then after India. So what kind of things that Indians need to do right in future that will lead us to, this GDP growth?
Lot of things are there which can be improved. First is business easiness.
Okay, they're working on it, of course.
Working on it, but slow work हो रहा है.
Okay. Ministers will disagree, but
yeah, but that should get fast track.
Okay.
Taxation related compliances, it should get fast track. FIIs, we need FIIs. FII का पैसा चाहिए. Again, I am not saying in terms of कि वो लोग आएंगे तो ही valuation बनेगा. I am saying in terms of capital, the one which we talked about. We are the labor intensive industry.
Okay.
Country. We want to become a capital intensive.
तो lucrative कैसे लगेगा फिर इंडिया?
Exactly. उनको lucrative लगने के लिए क्या चाहिए?
हाँ.
Valuation should be low. Okay. Comparatively. Currency stability. Government policy stability. Easy government approvals to do the business.
Okay.
These things will actually change the whole growth path for India.
Okay.
Right. Doable है.
Government stability we already have. Rupee devaluation is happening right now. मतलब उस पे I don't have much thing to say. आपको ज़्यादा पता है.
FII outflow.
बस वही रीजन है जिसके हिसाब से प्राइस
मेजर इशू
INR का पूरा क्रैश हो रहा है अभी.
INR का फर्स्ट क्रैश उसकी वजह से है. सेकंड क्रैश इज ऑफ कोर्स फॉर शॉर्टर टर्म ड्यू टू ऑयल प्राइसेस एलिवेटेड. हाँ. करेक्ट. So these two are the major reasons.
यूरो और वो सब नहीं गिर रहे, सिर्फ INR और मतलब जो
INR का depreciation है because we are much more dependent particularly for the crude oil. So let's just give me a brief idea around GDP, how a GDP works.
हाँ.
our GDP is C plus I plus G plus export minus import. C is consumption, I is private investment, G is government investments or government spendings plus export minus import. That gives you net exports or net import.
Right.
If we talk about our major exports or IT services, which is decreasing a bit because of this AI. Imports are increasing a bit because of crude oil. So net the dollar is flowing out of your country. Plus this FIIs are selling, which is again making the difference to the balance of payment basically, which takes care of capital account and all those things. But when this is impacting the rupee for now, going forward, once this stabilizes, again your GDP growth will come back on track. They will have to come back. Why? Opportunity cost. अगर US का market overvalued हो गया, then they will be looking for another opportunity. See, FIIs are not like your brothers or sisters. They are not relative. They are money minded. मेरे को next day morning कहाँ पे money making terms में opportunity दिख रहा है. अगर India का market, the one we talked about, P ratio, with my current growth rate, Indian equity market is available at 90 to 20 ka P ratio. Your historical average is also 90 to 20.
Okay.
Correct. We are at somewhere near to fair valuation looking at the P ratio.
Okay.
Correct. Compared to that US market, South Korean market, Chinese market, many other markets, they are much above their mean P ratio.
Okay.
Or average P ratio.
So they are overweight.
They are, in terms of PE, they are overvalued. Some of the pockets might be there which are undervalued. But again, why they are not coming back to the India this quickly? The one that we talked about, yield. US government GSEC yield, which we talked about in the beginning, interest rate has to increase. That yield is already 4.5%, roughly 4.30, 4.5. If you are an USD investor, you say that बस डॉलर में बैठे बैठे मुझे गवर्नमेंट ऑफ यूएस की गवर्नमेंट मुझे 4.5% दे रहा है, वो भी 10 साल के लिए. Why should I actually go into India and invest to get, let's say, 12%, 13%, in which 4 to 5% every year currency depreciation will be there.
वहाँ पे लॉस होने वाला है,
तो वो तो लॉस जाएगा ही. तो मुझे मिला क्या एक्स्ट्रा इक्विटी रिस्क लेके 6%. मेरे को अगर यूएस का गवर्नमेंट 4.5-5% दे रहा है, if I take somewhat extra risk, I might get in US itself 5.5. Why should I go to India? Let me stay invested in US or some other market, correct, where the currency depreciation might not be there, opportunities might be there, correct. तो अगर वो चीज़ हुआ, that's why they are exiting the India from now. Now, if US GSEC yield comes down back to 2%, मेरे लिए तो क्या है, अब वो 2% आएगा, तो by default जो हमने डिस्कस किया, 10% से yield बढ़ के 12% हुए थे फर्स्ट एग्जाम्पल में. तो आपके बॉन्ड का प्राइस 10% से गिरा था. अगर वो 12% से 10% हुआ इंटरेस्ट रेट, अगेन बॉन्ड का प्राइस 10% बढ़ेगा. बॉन्ड का प्राइस 10% बढ़ा, आई एम ऑलरेडी इन्वेस्टेड इन इट. इफ yield currently is 4.5, it comes back to normal range of 2.5. 2% yield गिरा, I will have some gains in my bond because mark to market होगा. I will say अभी यहाँ से और क्या होगा, 2% से 1.5 होगा, might not happen. 2% से 1.5, 1% शायद ना जाए, because that is required for US का GDP growth rate. तो 2% से नीचे जाने के चांस कम है. बट इंडियन इक्विटी मार्केट में अब अपॉर्चुनिटी बन गया. आंसर इज यस. क्यों? बिकॉज हियर आई एम गेटिंग जस्ट 2%, देयर आई एम गेटिंग 14-15%. रीजन बीइंग इंटरेस्ट रेट यूएस में कम हुए, इंडिया में भी कम हुए, इंडिया का इकोनॉमी स्टार्ट होगा, बिकॉज बिजनेस के लिए बोरोइंग का कॉस्ट कम हुआ, प्रॉफिट मार्जिन में इंक्रीज. 14-15% अगर इंडियन इकोनॉमी में बना, why should I stay invested in US? Even if I take the currency depreciation, I am still making 8% extra over and above 2% in US GSEC.
Okay.
So why not to get back into Indian equity market?
I have like few questions. First of all, that foreign investors, right, are mostly US based or European companies or what?
It's everywhere in the world.
But whose money is coming in India? Mostly like 60%, 70% of US money is coming in, or European money, or
that data is not available openly.
Okay.
So yeah.
Makes sense.
But still, I'm looking at a broader base. See, any investor, end of the day, they are investing in dollar terms within rupee terms, but they are converting the dollar into rupee. Majorly. Whenever we see FIAs investing or outgoing, we look at it in dollar terms because dollar is a reserve currency accepted everywhere and all those things.
व्हाट हैपेंस इफ ब्रिक्स और वो सारी चीज़ें जो अभी करने वाले हैं और वो चालू हो गई, फिर देन यूएस डॉलर डोमिनेशन तो फिर डाउन ही हो जाएगा.
करेक्ट. अच्छा,
फिर
ओके, परफेक्ट.
हाँ.
सो रिसेंटली द गोल्ड हैज फॉलन.
हाँ.
वॉर के टाइम पे गोल्ड तो मोस्टली अप ही होता है.
होना
7
चाहिए.
टाइम्स वॉर हुआ है.
हाँ.
Every time gold has increased in past. This is the most unique time where the gold is falling and the war is happening and the Nifty, or you look at world equity market, they are also falling. Correct.
So free fall सारी जगह पे.
Free fall सारी जगह पर है.
Okay.
So the one which we're talking about, correlation of gold, war and equity is bricked. Now why it is broke? It is broke because the gold is always affected by 3 factors. One is yield.
Okay.
Second one is dollar. And the third one is uncertainty. Correct. Now, currently uncertainty is there. Answer is yes, it is supporting it. But again, the dollar and the yield both are increasing.
Strong, so basically.
So the gold is falling.
Okay.
Once the time period is there wherein yield starts to fall, your second thing is there. The second factor is now working in favor of gold.
So people will be rushing to buy gold. Basically.
Maybe the major money might be going back into the gold. Plus Middle East countries were there which were selling their gold currently because they need to save their currency also because of this war. Because this war has happened, a lot of people are moving out of Middle East. They are selling their assets there and they are moving out of it. So of course, when they are selling their assets and they are moving out, they will sell the currency of those Middle Eastern country. They will buy some other currency. Okay. So Middle East countries are currencies are falling. They need to save their currency also. So they are selling the gold, buying their currencies also. So gold price have fallen. The another reason.
Okay.
Correct. Once this gets settled down, as a consequences, this will also get settled down. Once this settles down, of course, the yield will get somewhere settled because of crude oil, which is high. Once that settles down, of course, it will have dollar also, which is being sold because dollar बेच के they have to invest in other currency.
Makes
so
sense.
Dollar will also get somewhat downward. We will get equity inflow also. We might get somewhat inflow into gold as well.
Okay.
Right. So this is all a consequences of the war. War is just an event. These are all the consequences.
So
Correct.
Overall 2026, people can assume that it will be most like sideways market or
एक और one more thing is happening which people are not looking at.
Okay.
And it is happening due to AI. The one which you talked about, most of the crises are there due to liquidity crunches. Let me give you a simple idea. Let's say you are a fund manager. You got some money from a few of us. You started managing it. But you are running a private credit. Private credit fund, what do they actually do? They are lending a money to a lot of those companies which are might be at a startup stage, or those companies who are not getting the easy lending from banks, or those companies who are getting the lending from the bank but at a very high interest rate.
So VCs kind of thing? VCs भी वही
you
करते हैं
can
ना
say
startups
VC, but they are into equity.
Okay.
I am talking about debt part. Private credit, based on the credit you are giving the money, lending basically. Why you are giving the money, or why I am investing in your fund? I want to get higher return. So मेरे को 15%, 18% return चाहिए. आपने बोला ठीक है, I can do it. Why? You are lending a money to this kind of companies which are taking higher risk. Of course, higher risk, higher
risky
return.
bet.
Risky bet. You further wanted to increase the returns for me. So you said, I'll take the leverage also on this.
Okay.
So आपने leverage भी लिया. Now we are lending all that money to all these smaller players. Out of that, let's take an example. Past 5 years में, much of the lending happened to this AI-oriented or tech-oriented companies. Now, these tech-oriented companies are facing the issues. Why? Because of AI-related constant changes. Some of them might not able to repay the money quickly. Correct? Because it's a private credit. You have given it to them. It's not liquid or it's not traded in the market at all. Market में एक news आता है that certain of the private credit funds have started facing liquidity crunches. Why? Because of प्राइवेट क्रेडिट है. मैंने एकदम से बोल दिया कि मुझे पैसा मेरा वापस दे दो.
नया फंड नहीं आएगा ना.
नया फंड तो आ ही नहीं रहा है. करेक्ट.
और कैश बर्निंग कंपनीज है ये.
कैश ऑलरेडी आपने वो कंपनी को लैंड आउट कर दिया एज अ फंड मैनेजर. तो आपने तो लैंड आउट कर दिया है. I want my money back.
Of course.
Correct. Redemption period is also there.
Hmm.
You would say कि सर मैं एकदम से कहाँ से लाके दूँ, मेरे पास
Companies
फंड में
भी
तो
कैश
कैश है
बर्न
नहीं.
कर रही है अभी, वो स्टेज पे है तो उनके पास प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी भी नहीं है कि चलो लेके दे दिया.
राइट. आपने इनिशियली लैंड किया था 10 साल के लिए,
हाँ.
अब आप 5 साल में पैसा वापस मांग रहे हो
Hmm.
एज अ फंड मैनेजर. मैं एज अ इन्वेस्टर आपके पास से पैसा वापस मांग रहा हूँ,
पूरी चेन
बट
है.
यू डोंट हैव अ कैश.
Hmm.
आपके पास कैश नहीं है, आपने वहाँ पे बोला, उन्होंने मना कर दिया मैं नहीं दे सकता,
फिर
आप मुझे मना करोगे.
ओके.
करेक्ट.
हाँ.
कि आई डोंट हैव लिक्विडिटी.
अब मैं बेच भी सकता हूँ, शेयर्स वेस तो कुछ होंगे मेरे को.
नहीं, इट इज़ नॉट लिस्टेड,
अच्छा,
अनलिस्टेड है.
ओके.
वहाँ से प्रॉब्लम स्टार्ट होता है.
ओके.
लेट्स से आपके पास इनिशियल कैश कुछ पड़ा था फंड में, बिकॉज फंड्स डोंट गो ऑल इन्वेस्टेड, दे विल कीप 3%, 5%, 10% इन कैश एनी डे, सो दैट लिक्विडिटी रिलेटेड
कुछ
इश्यूज
अच्छी
कैन बी
अपॉर्चुनिटीज
डेल्ट.
आए तो फिर इन्वेस्ट.
अपॉर्चुनिटीज तो ठीक है, बट लिक्विडिटी क्रंचीज जो है वो मेटअप हो पाए.
अच्छा.
तो मैंने 5% मतलब आई वॉन्ट टू विड्रॉ द होल मनी, बट यू सेड नहीं हो सकता, आपने 50% पैसा मिल सकता है, वो आपने मेरे को दे दिया.
ओके.
बट मैं ये चीज़ मेरे पास नहीं रखूंगा. आई स्टार्ट स्प्रेडिंग द वर्ड एज अ पॉजिटिव मैनर
सब आएंगे
कि मुझे चाहिए पैसा.
हम्म.
बाकी सब इन्वेस्टर से मांगना चालू किया. आप क्या बोलोगे, यार पैसा तो है ही नहीं,
हाँ.
जो 5% पड़ा था वो तो मैं ले गया.
हाँ.
करेक्ट. आपके पास क्या बचेगा, आप बोलोगे एक भी पैसा नहीं मिलेगा. दिस विल गेट रिफ्लेक्टेड इन टर्म्स ऑफ लिक्विडिटी क्रंच.
मेक सेंस.
बैंक्स के लिए ऑलरेडी असेट लायबिलिटी मिसमैनेजमेंट,
हाँ.
द वन विच हैपेंड इन द पास्ट विथ सिलिकॉन वैली बैंक. द
हम्म,
अर्लियर
हाँ,
एग्जाम्पल
हाँ,
I gave you about liquidity crunch, it has happened with Silicon Valley Bank, which was when the prices increased, their bond prices crashed. For interest rate increased, bond prices crashed. They were giving lot of money to this AI oriented or startups economy.
Right.
Correct. Same thing with the private credit as well. And the private credit market is, mark my words, it's a much bigger than we expect.
अच्छा.
Yes. वहाँ पे ticket size is also bigger. वहाँ पे lot of institutional money is also there.
Okay.
Now think about it. You are at a we are talking about at a individual investor. कितना पैसा कहाँ पे भी invested होगा? It would be much smaller than what institution can invest. Now think
100%.
about it. What would happen if this institutions or ultra HNI starts to withdraw the money? They are trying to get their money back.
पूरा वॉल्यूम में जा रहा है.
Again, as a private credit fund manager, you say that मैं नया lending नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ. Whole cycle was there.
हाँ.
New startups are not getting the money, plus they are laying off the money. People are not getting the job. People are not getting the business, or some of the business are not even starting because of the fund related issues. So नया fund आ नहीं रहा है. पुराना fund था, वहाँ पे आप वापस खींच रहे हो, तो वो business growth नहीं कर पाएगा. The whole liquidity crunch will start.
तो पूरा इकोनॉमी में रिफ्लेक्ट
डिस्टर्ब हो सकता है.
अगर ऐसा हो तो फिर गवर्नमेंट बोले कि विल
और
बाय इट.
on the top of it, US government is also already ready to borrow additional money because their $38 trillion of debt is there. They are ready to borrow additional money.
How they will pay it? I'm confused about that. कि मतलब ले ही जा रहे.
Somewhere it might get stuck.
Okay.
But again, whenever you are giving money to anyone, we always look for what are their assets or what are their income. If I tell you that earlier your assets were X amount, based on which I give you the lending,
Yep.
even if you don't have the income right now, correct, but assets है. अगर US अपने assets बढ़ा ले तो क्रूड ऑयल का बहुत सारा जो डोमिनेंस है
हाँ.
वो बढ़ने लगा तो क्या होगा? वेनेजुएला का क्रूड ऑयल
हाँ.
again in their control. Some US companies are given opportunities to stay in Venezuela and start extracting the crude oil from.
तो मनी कम्स इन बेसिकली, तो फ्लो आता रहता है.
फ्लो आएगा.
ओके.
Correct. So basically, this is the asset liability mismanagement related issue, liquidity crunches. But what I was trying to mark out here is, private credit में अगर liquidity crunch हुआ, they are also in need of money. You have two options as a fund manager. Should you really give the money directly to the companies, or as an investor, should I invest this money into US के bonds where there is no liquidity crunch? I'm having sovereign credit guarantee.
हाँ.
कहाँ पे इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए मुझे?
सेफर ऑप्शन पे.
जब लिक्विडिटी क्रंच है मार्केट में,
हाँ.
तो दिस इश्यू कैन ट्रिगर अनदर रिस्क इन द इकोनॉमी.
ओके.
करेक्ट.
यूएस बॉन्ड्स में करते हैं, फिर अपने इंडियन बॉन्ड्स में क्या है, मतलब कितना डिफरेंस है?
इंडियंस में अभी भी उतना ज़्यादा प्राइवेट क्रेडिट का मार्केट ग्रो नहीं हुआ है. इट इज़ वेरी नेसेंट स्टेज, एट एन वेरी नेसेंट स्टेज अभी.
ओके.
बट 2020 में जब फ्रैंकलिन टेम्पल्टन इंडिया म्यूचुअल फंड का डेट फंड का क्राइसिस हुआ था, इट वॉज अराउंड दिस थिंग.
अच्छा.
Franklin Templeton.
Running out of money basically.
Yes. They had bit of the less liquidity to sell it in the market. They were also taking a lot of risk, and that's why Franklin Templeton Mutual Fund was having a lot of those, we can say, lower credit bonds, and that's why they were also able to generate higher yields.
Okay.
But when in the time of crisis they went there to sell the bonds, the liquidity wasn't dry. Why liquidity was dry? Lockdown tha. Much of the companies were facing the currency issues. As an investor, why would you buy those lower credit bonds?
Makes sense.
So you denied to buy. Fund manager said, I don't have money, I'll not pay the money. They said, okay, let's wind down all the 6 funds. Wind up kar diya. No one did lost the money actually. Okay. Over the time, all the money was paid back to the investors. Okay. With interest. Only thing is, at a time जब चाहिए था ना, तब नहीं मिला. That was a liquidity crunch.
Makes sense.
Correct.
So you're talking about there are some questions that people are searching on Google right now. So I'll just share a few questions and let me know आपका क्या thoughts है, क्या opinion है उसके बारे में. Yeah. Let's start with the number 1, which is stock market going to crash?
Okay. Just an opinion. Okay. But how I look at it. First thing, it's as easy as saying tomorrow morning we will wake up or not. Correct. Highly uncertain because no guarantee.
Right.
What Trump will say tonight, well, no that can impact. What will happen to the ceasefire, that can impact. What will be the statements coming from Modi ji? Let's say he says one more demonetization, that can impact. What if some other new virus comes in? Or what if at night some HDFC Bank CEO gave resignation? Likewise, some other CEO may give resignation, and that can also impact the market. So what will happen in one day? That should ideally not be the question. Your question should be what can be happening in the next 5 to 7 to 10 years.
But the irony is, people don't know about the management and stuff they are getting into.
Correct.
पता ही नहीं है उनको ये stock ले लिया, इनका management में क्या है, कौन है, कोई idea नहीं, सिर्फ लेने खाता है.
लेना है. हाँ. Because friend ने लिया था, friend ने बोला है, तो इसलिए मुझे करना है. Correct. That is the main issue. Well, when you go to the casino, do you know the dealer? No. How do they work? Do we know? नहीं. उनकी क्या ट्रिक्स है आपको पता है? नहीं. बस सेम चीज़ यहाँ पे फॉलो कर रहे हैं. You are making the market as a gambling point, where there are a lot of learned investors who are the long-term investors. They know what is happening, so there is very high chance that you may get a bad companies in your portfolio. Correct. So if you want to get saved from that, then you should be looking at the main thing as a long-term investment. Okay. Company's growth story, the quality of the company, the valuations. It's very important.
Makes sense. Now the second question is about oil. Why is the oil rising so much? भाव क्यों बढ़ रहे हैं भाई इतने oil के? Self-explanatory, of course कि भाई war है, वो सारी चीज़ है.
Correct.
और कुछ आपको insights है कि उसके अलावा कि भाई बढ़ेगा, कम होगा, क्या होगा, या और depends on the.
Well, जो हमने discuss किया वो कि because of course the Strait of Hormuz, which is closed. Earlier also war was going on between Russia and Ukraine, but we were not affected at all.
Right.
This time we are because of the Strait of Hormuz, which is supplying nearly 25 to 30% of world crude oil supply.
50% of India's oil.
More than 50% of India's crude oil. And by the way, just to share, even higher than us, who is more affected? China and Japan. They are affected due to this. Japan is much more dependent upon this particular crude oil. Correct. So, China and Japan is getting affected. Asian countries are basically being affected. So that's why crude oil is essential. And the war is going on in Middle Eastern country. Many of the places refineries are disturbed.
Damaged. Okay.
In Ukraine, affecting Russia, many of the refineries are affected. So that crude oil shortage is expected to be there. Do we expect this prices to be this high for long term? Answer is no. Do we expect it to come down? Yes. Do we expect it to go to 60? Well, not necessarily, or not in near term.
Okay.
Maybe 75-80 could be new normal.
Makes sense.
Correct. But yeah, within this, if this ceasefire don't persist much, or this issues get spreaded even wider, it can go up to 150 also. Possible hai. जा सकता है. But that will be maybe shorter term.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Now the third question is about should I invest now or wait? मतलब basically buy the dip और अभी भी wait करना चाहिए.
We always look at valuation. We are, compared to earlier, we are at a good valuation. It's good time to start buying.
Okay.
Again, where to buy? It's a major question to be asked. Correct. But yeah, should you start buying? Answer is yes. Deploy करना start करना चाहिए. Correct. Maybe I personally have started deploying.
Okay.
But all in हो जाना चाहिए. Well, there are some of the structural issues which have happened, like the one which we explained. Rupee depreciation has affected the GDP growth rate. Private credit liquidity crunch is related issue which might come up because of AI. Because of AI disruption, some of the IT employees may get laid off, and possibly their EMIs being affected. So the liquidity crunch may again start. Plus, because of crude oil, inflation is already high. It might not get settled down so easily.
Okay.
So those issues are there. So it is not like a one-way rally or earnings growth कल सुबह से आना चालू हो जाएगा. But it is more like we are at a good valuation. Good to start. All in का time. My personal opinion, I'm also not all invested.
Okay.
Somewhat
Reserves रख
invested.
रहे हो आप थोड़ा cash reserves.
Absolutely yes.
कितना रखने
We
चाहिए?
have kept, see, first emergency fund. Absolutely any day it should be in cash.
हाँ.
When I say I'm in cash, I'm never saying that emergency fund invested. Emergency fund separate है मेरे लिए.
उसके अलावा 10%
वो अगर मेरे को
20% of your
निफ्टी
portfolio-
7500 पे मिलेगा ना तो भी I'll think 10 times before investing that. Correct. But except that, you should have some emergency fund at some debt in your portfolio. If you are very aggressive investor, 80%, 70-80% you could be invested. If you are very aggressive then.
And 20% of savings just in case.
Just in case if it falls further, it
New
will
buying
give a chance.
opportunities.
Yes. If you have
Okay.
completely new money, then again, we will have to check your pie. Where you are invested. Correct.
Okay.
100% invested हो, कितना invested है equity में, कितना नहीं है exposure. That is to be checked and based on that. Yeah.
Okay. So next question we partially answered basically. Should I buy gold now? Basically अपने ने आप बता दिया कि भाई gold क्यों गिर रहा है, क्या reasons है?
Correct.
Should they buy it?
It's a good opportunity to start accumulating it.
Okay.
Again, de-dollarization is happening. Petrodollar again system. Even if it comes back to the new regime, or we would say completely new for time, but it will be a time being, because post Russia's assets were frozen. Everyone knows that when you are parking your assets in dollar terms, it has very big issue of getting frozen up in case if you do anything against US. So now countries will be a bit concerned around that. They will start looking at alternatives. And in that case, dollar may get depreciated. If dollar gets depreciated, inflation cools down as we discussed. Gold may get benefited out of it.
Stocks versus real estate. Do you want to cover that?
It is, okay. It's an interesting one,
Yeah.
by the way. Stocks versus real estate. One thing, if you don't have cash, if you have completely white money, then why not to prefer those companies which are already selling the real estate if you want to get that exposure then.
Okay.
Correct. Second thing, when you're buying a real estate property, your much of the capital is concentrated into a single asset. Let's say आपने लैंड का एक पीस बाय किया, तो 1 करोड़ रुपए का लेट्स से लैंड का पीस है, तो 1 करोड़ रुपए में एक ही पीस, वो पीस पे जो होगा वही आपका रिटर्न जनरेट करेगा. But if you invest the same 1 crore in some other real estate, if you want to take the risk of real estate, so if you invest the same money into that equity oriented company of that, selling the real estate properties,
like DLF or companies like
DLF
that?
हो सकता है,
Okay.
या फिर you look at Arvind Smart Spaces, just not a
name-
valuation, not buying, selling and nothing, just if you look at those companies, correct, or some other real estate oriented, Oberoi Realty is there,
हाँ बहुत है,
or
बहुत है.
correct, many are, Anant Raj is there, correct, many are there. If you look at those companies, then they can give you complete different exposure, because Oberoi Realty के, let's say Oberoi के 10 अलग-अलग schemes है ना,
हाँ.
तो आपको वो सब जगह पे exposure मिला. So you are able to diversify your
मुंबई का
portfolio.
मार्केट भी, दिल्ली का भी, अहमदाबाद का भी, सारा अलग-अलग आपको मिल
सारा
रहा है
मिल
स्पॉट.
सकता है.
Okay.
Correct.
Right.
So it always matters how you look at opportunity, the risk and the return. Diversifying the risk is very important. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do we identify greed and fear in the market?
Okay. So Warren Buffett has given a very famous statement.
Achha.
When others are fearful, be the greedy. When others are greedy, be the fearful. Now important one is you should not be that others. Correct. So I always look at this thing, how not to be others. So whenever I go to some parties or to in a friends or group gathering, we always have 3 stages as a investment, we can say experts or specialist or anyone, right?
Yeah.
We always have 3 stages. One is the stage where no one talks to us around equity. कोई भी मेरे पास आएगा ना, तो वो इक्विटी के अलावा सब बातें करेगा. Second stage is where that they will ask me, यार क्या लेना चाहिए. And third is where they will tell me, तू ये ले ले, यहाँ पे पैसा बनेगा. These 3 stages are there. The first stage where people are discussing with me, but at a broader, some geopolitical level, correct, some issue, but not related to equity directly. That is the best stage when you should be greedy as an investor. Correct. Second one, where everyone is asking your view that ये stock कैसा है या ये company ऐसा है, that is a good time, neutral time. But when people are telling you, ये stock ले लो, वोडा आइडिया परचेज कर लो, या फिर सुजलॉन परचेज कर लो, यस बैंक परचेज कर लो, 100 रुपये होगा ही होगा. कम, that kind of confidence is there with the people. You should be the most cautious. Let me give you a live example.
Okay.
When did you got your calls for buying a gold and silver?
Buying a gold and silver call from
friends, family members, or they were discussing. It was a hot topic कि gold, silver 7 लाख होगा.
Few months back.
Few months back. हाँ. Somewhere in December, January.
आके फिर रो भी रहे.
January का देख लो.
हाँ.
Correct.
Right.
चलो. Let's keep that aside. वो एक cycle था, war हो गया, reasons are there. चलो, let's forget about that. When did we got the maximum inflows of money in mid and small cap?
I'm not sure about when, but
somewhere in 2023. 2023, 2024.
Okay.
Maximum पैसा आया.
Okay.
And not just with me. मतलब clients request, not just that. If you look at the MFI data, maximum money came in, in terms of percentage terms growth. It was there in 2023, 2024.
Okay.
People are investing in mid and small caps. Why?
Because
in a hindsight, that 2020 say 2023 का return or 2024 का return has been amazing. Correct. Right. So it is the time you start getting, be cautious or be greedy. How not to be others. तो लोग क्या कर रहे हैं वो ऑब्जर्व करो, तो भी आपको पता है. इट्स अ मोस्ट बेसिक थिंग. ऑफ कोर्स lot of other valuation related parameters, it goes on. Correct. If you ask me today also, is there opportunity in small cap? I would say yes. Okay. If you ask me today, is there opportunity in mid cap? I would say yes. In large cap, yes. Opportunities are there. But are the people looking at the right opportunity? What's working behind the one that we talked about in the beginning? देखना क्या चाहिए? Front end पे data center है. For an example, I'm just saying. What we should be looking at is other. So opportunity कहीं ना कहीं पे होती है. You have to look at it very well. That is very important.
Okay.
And how to differentiate between when to be cautious and when to be greedy.
Okay.
Yes.
और रिसेंटली अभी सप्लाई चेन का थोड़ा इशू चल रहा है मार्केट में, क्योंकि और स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मोज और सब बंद है. सो what are the things that people can do?
Well, सबसे बड़ा इशू जो है ना, it is affecting EV related story और रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी रिलेटेड स्टोरी.
बिकॉज यार एनर्जी पे हम डिपेंडेंट थे, ऑयल आ गया, उसके बाद फिर ग्रीन एनर्जी बोल रहे हैं लोग कि भाई पुश कर रहे हैं. अभी भी हम ऑयल पे कितना डिपेंडेंट है. करेक्ट.
सो आई विल टेल यू, रफ एक नंबर दे रहा हूँ, दैट आउट ऑफ द टोटल क्रूड ऑयल दैट वी गेट फ्रॉम स्ट्रेट ऑफ हार्मस, 92% ऑफ सल्फर और सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड वी आर गेटिंग फ्रॉम दैट पर्टिकुलर क्रूड ऑयल ओनली. Why I'm talking about sulfur or sulfuric acid? Somewhere in December, January, when we were discussing, we were getting the queries around copper bar में invest करना चाहिए क्या? Why copper bar? This copper bar is used. Copper is basically used in all these EVs, data centers, or we talk about solar panels and all those things basically, right? Copper for EVs, for making the batteries, you require cobalt. This copper and cobalt extraction के लिए you require sulfur and sulfuric acid.
Okay.
92% is coming from that. So if that main essential raw material is not there, व्हाट विल यू डू विथ योर कॉपर बार? जो लोग ने 4 महीने पहले लेके रखा था वो आज भी उनके पास है. यू टेक अ लुक एट द प्राइस ऑफ द कॉपर, व्हाट हैज हैपेंड. करेक्ट. अगेन वन मोर पॉइंट वेयर पीपल वर ग्रीडी विद रिस्पेक्ट टू कॉपर. ले लो, कॉपर का प्राइस डबल हो जाएगा, मल्टीप्लाई हो जाएगा.
रो रहे अभी.
करेक्ट. अभी पड़ा है सबके पास. करेक्ट. सिल्वर ले लो, सिल्वर का 7 लाख हो जाएगा. पड़ा है सब. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि सिल्वर यहाँ से 1.5 लाख हो जाएगा और 1 लाख. आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन फर्स्ट थिंग, सिल्वर का डिमांड क्यों था. अगेन ईवी एंड रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी रिलेटेड. अगर वो जो पूरा स्टोरी चल रहा था वहाँ पे सप्लाई चेन डिसरप्शन की वजह से जो उसमें कॉपर एंड कोबाल्ट इज अ मेजर यूजेज. कॉपर एंड कोबाल्ट ही आपका जो बेसिक रॉ मटेरियल नहीं मिल रहा है. तो अगर वहाँ पे इश्यू आएगा तो ऑफकोर्स आप सिल्वर का भी क्या करोगे. सिल्वर इज नॉट द मेजर असेट विच यू वर यूजिंग. करेक्ट. मेजर रॉ मटेरियल. तो दिस इज द मेजर सप्लाई चेन इश्यू विच इज हैपनिंग राइट नाउ. सॉर्ट आउट होगा किसी ना किसी तरीके से. एंड वी आर लाइक दैट. we always loves to get adjusted. Just like that, we were also having some challenges from Strait of Hormuz, the supply chain being disrupted. ठीक है, we will find some alternate route.
Human setup ना, उसका हिसाब वो करते आए तब
वो
जाके
evolve
तो
हो
यहाँ पे.
जाएंगे. Exactly.
ओके.
कोई ना कोई alternate.
अभी के मार्केट में आपको लग रहा है कि फाइनेंशियल प्रोफेशनल की नीड है या फिर जो जिस हिसाब से कर रहे थे बहुत सारे इन्वेस्टर होते हैं ना कि भाई नॉर्मल सब इन्वेस्ट कर दिया. या फिर अभी मार्केट में अनसर्टेनिटी आ गई है तो फिर अभी क्या करे. तो दोस्त लोग के जाते पूछते कि अभी क्या हुआ, क्या तू 10 साल से कर रहा बता. करेक्ट. या फिर कोई प्रोफेशनल की हेल्प लेनी चाहिए.
ओके, आई विल टेल यू 2 things, not a sales pitch but as a part of बहुत ही सिंपल चीज. हाउ मनी ऑफ द न्यूज और द थिंग्स यू कैन ट्रैक एट अ टाइम.
वेरी लिमिटेड है. कितना देख के कितना देखोगे. परफेक्ट.
और वो हर एक न्यूज़ का एक्चुअल में इम्पैक्ट क्या आ रहा है वो आप कैसे एनालाइज करोगे. फर्स्ट थिंग, यू रिक्वायर 24/7 वर्क टू डू.
न्यूज़ में भी तो बायसनेस होगी ना यार.
वहाँ पे भी बायसनेस होगा. बट वो बायसनेस से निकल के अगर आपको देखना है कि एक स्टेप बैक लेके कि ये न्यूज़ की वजह से कितना इम्पैक्ट होगा, क्या इम्पैक्ट. ओके. करेक्ट. एट अ ब्रॉड लाइन. बहुत सारे इश्यूज है. प्राइवेट क्रेडिट में क्या हो रहा है. AI की वजह से पीपल आर लुकिंग एट इंडियन IT इज गेटिंग डिसरप्टेड. आई एम थिंकिंग इट, लुक एट इट इन अ प्राइवेट क्रेडिट मार्केट. They will also get the hit. Look at your banks. The banks may also get the hit because वो सिर्फ कंजम्पशन पे इफेक्ट नहीं कर रहा है. करेक्ट. आपका कंज्यूमर का अगर इनकम का सोर्स अफेक्ट हुआ, everywhere it impacts, including the borrowing also. Correct. So multiple things you should be looking at. And the third and these are the first 2 things. First, you should be looking at many things. Second thing, you should be think about everything in isolation and make a analysis out of it, right analysis. Third and the very important one, right now in the digital world, it's very easy to sell you something. Correct. क्यों? आप अगर हम लोग जो डिस्कस करें ना, आज किसी माइक के बारे में डिस्कस करते हैं, नेक्स्ट याहू पे उसी का ऐड आना चालू हो जाता है. कैसे?
They are listening.
और या फिर आप जो सर्च करते हो. इनफैक्ट यू वांट टू ट्राई, यू कैन चेक ऑन दिस. ChatGPT या फिर ChatGPT, let's take for now because most of the people are asking question to ChatGPT. आप ChatGPT को पूछो कि इंडियन IT सेक्टर बाय करना चाहिए. They will give you their views around it, but वो बाइंग के अराउंड के मेजर व्यूज होंगे. वो हेडविंड देंगे आपको क्या नेगेटिव है बट लोअर कंपेरेटिवली विद दिस. सेकेंड, आप उसी कन्वर्सेशन में अगर आपने पहले पूछा होगा या फिर अर्लियर आपने पूछा होगा यार IT सेक्टर बहुत खराब है, वो आपको सब कुछ नेगेटिव बताएगा.
वो बायसनेस आ जाएगी उसको. पता है कि आपको क्या सुनना है तो उससे ज़्यादा कैटर करता है. हाउ
विल यू बी एबल टू डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन दिस एंड दिस एप्लीकेशंस, मोबाइल एप्स, द मेजरली किलिंग योर वेल्थ. एंड आई एम यूजिंग माई वर्ड्स वेरी केयरफुली.
अच्छा.
आपको अगर मैं किसी भी, अभी तो मतलब ये ऐप से बहुत चल रहा है. अगर आपने खुद से यही फंड में कर दिया होता ये ऐप के थ्रू, आपका 1% बच जाता. वो 1% 15 साल में कितना बड़ा इम्पैक्ट करता. आपको एक फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग गाइडेंस दे दिया. मैं सिंपल बोल रहा हूँ, टोटल वो पर्टिकुलर फंड में इन्वेस्ट करना है और वो फंड में कब इन्वेस्ट करना चाहिए. अगर वहाँ पे इन्वेस्ट ही नहीं करते तो आपका पैसा बनता क्या? नहीं बनता. करेक्ट. वो काम आपके जो भी डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स है या फिर आपके जो फाइनेंशियल एक्सपर्ट्स है, एडवाइजर है, वो उनका काम है. करेक्ट. सो वो जो फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग बता रहे हैं उतना तो होता भी नहीं है. होता भी नहीं इन द सेंस म्यूचुअल फंड एंड नाउ देयर इज अ रूल कि
अच्छा
आपका जैसे असेट अंडर मैनेजमेंट बढ़ेगा द टोटल एक्सपेंस रेशियो मस्ट डिक्लाइन. तो आज से 5 साल पहले या तो 10 साल पहले कोई फंड का जितना एक्सपेंस रेशियो था उतना तो है भी नहीं. तो आज जो 1% है वो 20 साल तक 15 साल तक कैसे मिलेगा?
नहीं मिल पाएगा.
नहीं मिल पाएगा, ऑब्वियस है.
Makes
तो अगर वो नहीं मिल रहा है तो एब्सोल्युटली वो जो पूरा प्रोजेक्शन दिया ना वही गलत दिया. Correct. What they are promoting instead? Some of the thematic funds, like few months back, lot of silver ETFs they were talking about.
Okay.
Now they are talking about PSU bank ETFs or PSU bank funds. क्यों? Past one का रिटर्न बहुत अच्छा है. Hindsight में people are ready to invest also very easily. आज कोई गोल्ड की बात करता है? नहीं. इनफैक्ट जनवरी मंथ में गोल्ड ETF inflow was much more higher than equity funds inflow. क्यों? You were being pushed that product.
सबका एक नैरेटिव है, सबका एक एजेंडा है, वो चला रहा है यूट्यूब पे.
और कोई no one is your relative.
हाँ.
यूट्यूब पे जो भी वीडियोस बना रहे हैं
फाइनेंशियल गुरुज सारे.
फाइनेंशियल गुरुज मैं तो सिंपल पूछ रहा हूँ उनके पास व्हाट आर देयर एबिलिटीज और बेसिकली उन्होंने क्या किया है दैट यू आर लिसनिंग टू देम. समथिंग मस्ट बी देयर ना.
हाँ.
Like I am having my degrees, I am open to share around that, correct? I have been there in the market from 12 years, talking about this, managing the, ठीक है, experience is there.
हाँ.
Plus I have studied also for that, correct?
हाँ.
CFA, CFP, CFGP, FGP, CIS, SP, Chartered Indian Succession Planner, MBA Finance. All this thing I have done. I have spent my good chunk of my life just to study the finance. YouTube पे जो आपको बता रहा है उनके पास क्या है? गुड एडिटिंग स्किल्स.
नहीं, ऑफ कोर्स उनके पास डिग्रीज और बहुत होते हैं जिनके पास है, और कुछ लोग ऐसे भी है कि जो हवा में बातें कर रहे हैं.
सुनो आप.
हाँ.
जिनके पास डिग्रीज है
हाँ.
उनको सुनना चाहिए. क्यों? दे आर शेयरिंग समथिंग आउट ऑफ देयर पर्सनल नॉलेज, लर्निंग एंड एक्सपीरियंस.
सही बात है.
बट जिनके पास डिग्रीज नहीं है,
हाँ.
जो स्विंग ट्रेडर्स
हाँ.
लाइव मार्केट में निफ्टी में प्लस माइनस करके दिखा रहे हैं, बी केयरफुल.
बिकॉज ये लोगों ने क्या अपनी कम्युनिटी बना दी एक छोटी सी. उनको पता है कि भाई इतने लोग हैं और इतना इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, बोल रहे हैं यहाँ पे इन्वेस्ट करे, तो उनके पास एक कैपेसिटी है कि वो फंड को प्लस माइनस कर सकते हैं.
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. हाइंडसाइड में इन्वेस्ट करवाना इज वेरी इजी.
अच्छा.
मैं अगर मतलब इफ आई हैव टू मेक अ कम्युनिटी, व्हाट विल आई डू? आई विल सिंपली स्टार्ट मेकिंग द डेली प्रेडिक्शंस.
हाँ.
मेरे पास 10 चीज़ है बोलने के लिए, इजीली है, कंटेंट है. मैं 10 चीज़ बोलता रहूँगा. 3 चीज़ तो पक्का होगा.
हाँ.
7 नहीं होगा.
और 3 चीज़ आप नेक्स्ट टाइम
बोला था मैंने होगा.
हाँ.
वो 7 चीज़ जो उसको यूट्यूब से हटा दो.
हाँ.
कोई भी अगर बैकएंड में जाके देखेगा कि 7 क्या चीज़ बोला था, बताना ही नहीं है.
हाँ.
वो निकाल दिया.
डबल डाउन करो 3 पे.
करेक्ट. और 7 चीज़ बोलो, 10 चीज़ अगेन हो गई. 3 तो मेरी ऑलरेडी सही थी.
हाँ.
और 7 चीज़ है अगेन, उसमें से 2 तो सही होगी, आगे बोलते लो. 10-15 आपके सही हो गए ना चीज़ें, तो आपका एक कम्युनिटी बन जाएगा.
हाँ, सही बात है.
और लोग आपको देखने वाले भी मिल जाएंगे. करेक्ट. उसके बाद में आपको क्या बेचना है, कंटेंट क्या बेचना है आपको. और डू यू थिंक कि ये जितने भी एप्लीकेशंस है वो आपके कोई रिलेटिव है? नहीं. एवरीवन इज सेलिंग इन द वर्ल्ड ऑफ फाइनेंस. व्हेन यू आर गेटिंग, एवरीवन इज सेलिंग यू समथिंग, ईदर प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस, और यू आर दैट प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस.
सही बात है.
अब आप डिसाइड करो कि आप वो प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस बनना चाहते हो या फिर आपको कोई प्रोडक्ट एंड सर्विस परचेज करना है. अगर आप परचेज करते हो, गो विथ सम एडवाइजरी. लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल हम जो डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि यूएस मार्केट में करना चाहिए या नहीं, करेक्ट, और गोल्ड सिल्वर में करना चाहिए, या फिर कब इंडियन इक्विटी से बाहर निकलना चाहिए, या फिर इंडियन इक्विटी में कितना करना चाहिए.
हाँ.
व्हाट इफ आई टेल यू देयर इज अ फंड which is not getting much of the attraction itself, but it has all these things actively managed. When to go into gold and silver, when to go into US equity, in US equity or European equity or South Korean equity, how much to invest, everything under one fund without paying up your tax when you are internally exchanging. अगर आप internally churning भी होता है ना, तो भी fund level पे tax नहीं लगता, because of mutual fund is a trust. What if those kind of funds are there?
Right.
There is this kind of fund.
Okay.
Hedging is also done in that. Indian equity का भी exposure मिला, taxation भी कम लगा. All are there. But इसके बारे में पता ही नहीं है.
सबको नहीं पता होगा.
क्योंकि इसको प्रमोट ही नहीं किया गया. प्रमोट क्यों नहीं किया? अगेन योर एप्स आर देयर, उनको नहीं करना.
सबको अलग अलग अपना ही करना है.
करेक्ट. और उनको अट्रैक्ट कहाँ पे करना है? आपको अगर वो ऐसा बोले कि हर एक जगह पे किया है, और दूसरा बोले कि यार यूएस मार्केट का जो फंड है ना ये पर्टिकुलर उसमें किया होता आपने एक ही फंड में, तो आपका हाईएस्ट रिटर्न होता. ये फंड में एंड ऑफ द डे यू आर इन्वेस्टिंग इनटू पोर्टफोलियो. यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू गो ऑल इन इनटू यूएस. यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू गो ऑल इन इनटू डॉलर ओनली और गोल्ड ओनली. यू आर गोइंग टू डाइवर्सिफाई.
100%.
ये एक फंड है जो आपको डाइवर्सिफाई करके दे रहा है.
ऑल इन वन.
आपको तो पोर्टफोलियो लेवल पे ही देखना है, राइट? सो इट डिपेंड्स व्हाट यू आर बीइंग सोल्ड एंड व्हाई यू आर बीइंग सोल्ड.
Okay.
Correct. So that's why due to these three major things, it's very important that you should have someone who can guide you well.
Okay.
Or you should be giving your 24/7 into the market. It's very important.
Makes sense.
Yes.
I think should we end our conversation
perfect.
here?
Yeah.
No
Correct.
worries, man. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Loved it.
Yes.